Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here to have another installation and discussion around wealth, prosperity, economic development. And today I've got my dear friend and probably the best mayor that I've seen in South Florida in a long, long time. And by the way, we're talking about, if you will, the beautiful city of Miami Gardens. You know, for those of you all that don't know, the city of Miami Gardens is Florida's largest, what I consider to be Black city.
Yes.
But also, too, I think that what I'm most impressed about is that word largest comes with a moniker around economic development of the type that very few people have ever seen. And so I have with me today, it's esteemed Mayor Rodney Harris. Mayor Harris, good morning.
Bill, thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful introduction. And I appreciate the fact that we are friends and the fact that you're doing a great job with MDEAT. And we appreciate your support and everything that you guys are doing with Miami-Dade County.
Well, listen, first of all, thank you for that. I got to tell you, man, for me, I really been looking forward to this. One, because we're going to talk about the event that I've been at every year except for one when my mother got sick many, many moons ago. And that's Jazz in the Gardens. I got to tell you, man, I am so excited that the lineup this year is amazing. We'll get to that in a minute. But I think that what I'm most impressed about, you know, one of my dear friends is Rodney Barretto. Mm-hmm. And Rodney and I go back a lot of years. And we've always talked about, you know, all these major events that he's been engaged in with the Super Bowl, the national championships,
yes,
FIFA, and now Formula One. And I never forget many, many moons ago, you know, Dewey Knight said, if they don't see Miami Gardens in a minute, I'm going to turn this TV off. Because I think it was a monumental step for the world to say, welcome to the NFL Super Bowl in Miami Gardens, Florida.
Isn't that something?
Right?
Isn't that something?
Now, mind you, everyone had to ask, but I think also, too, that for me, it came at a necessary time because it showed the growth and the maturation of this city that willed itself into being. So you've been with the city for a long time.
About 12 years now. I've been on the council for about 12 years. I started as a council member, and then I became the vice mayor, and then now I'm fortunate to be the mayor of that beautiful city.
Yeah, you know, and I laugh about it because, you know, when I saw you, the first time I saw you, and I never told you this, you were sitting down, and I said, oh, there's your Corey. You know? and when you turn around, I can see you have more gray hair. I look, and someone said, you know, that's his father. Uh-huh. And so, listen, first thing, congratulations for raising a heck of a son.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also congratulations for finding your way to your own level of notoriety, man, coming behind the scenes of, you know, one of Miami's greatest quarterbacks.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
So I got to imagine that, you know, knowing that you know what it takes to build a champion, that had to somehow go into your mindset in regards to building Miami Gardens. So talk about that for a minute.
And absolutely. And I didn't do this on my own. You know, this wasn't something that we started out as a politician, so to speak, mm-hmm. to accomplish. Mm-hmm. But what we wanted to do was be a servant leader for the people of that community. Mm-hmm. And again, when you talk about the growth of Miami Gardens, you got to start back from the beginning. When the forefathers had their dreams of where they wanted the city to be. When Shirley Gibson, the first mayor, had a dream of how she wanted this city to be. And then from there to our chairman now, who was our former mayor, Oliver Gilbert, the dreams that he had. And he and I had conversations because he ran for mayor back in 2012, and I ran for the first my city council seat. And we were fortunate enough to be able to, along that campaign trail, to talk about where we wanted to be at as a city, how we wanted to get there, what we needed to change, what we needed to do to put the city in a position where it can be self-sustainable and be able to function for another million years if it needed to. Yeah. And so I stand on the shoulders of all of them who came before us. Right. And we are so fortunate right now. I always tell a lot of people, I'm just the driver of the Lamborghini. Yeah. I just don't want to make the wrong shifts right. and blow the transmission. Right. But my input, the things that I brought to the city, you know, has been to be fair to the people of this community,
Right.
to open up a dialogue with those investors in our community like the Miami Dolphins and build relationships that can blossom and work throughout the entire Miami-Dade County as well as throughout the world.
You know, it's interesting that you said that way, and I agree. Man, you are driving the Lamborghini. This thing started out as an idea in regards to, you know, developing from unincorporated Dade, this great city, right? And everybody, you know, was Carol City.
Yeah.
And then when Miami Gardens popped up and Mayor Gibson, it did her thing. God bless that woman.
God bless her.
My daughter is always loved Mayor Gibson because even as a young child, she was always very kind to her, you know, and having her pass on. So you're the third mayor of this city.
Third mayor, yes.
Right.
Very third.
So the city's been in existence for how long now?
20 years now.
Wow.
Last year we celebrated our 20th anniversary.
Man.
And in 20 years we've accomplished more than many cities have done in 50, 60 years.
Right. How large is your budget now, Mayor Harris?
I think we have a budget of $150 million, something around like that.
Wow. I mean, because Miami Gardens is actually big. I mean, it's not a small.
It's not a small city.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking, I think it's about 24 square miles or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we have approximately 115,000 residents in the city.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still call it our small city that's doing big things.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because I think what I like about it is that, you know, you all have those big markers on the street.
Yeah.
You know, and you let people know when you're coming into Miami Gardens.
We want you to know that you're here.
Exactly. And it's interesting because, you know, when you're driving sometimes, you know, and you see those, you're like, wow, Miami Gardens goes that far east.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we just annexed the east side of Miami Gardens. So on 183rd Street, we went over to the I-95 and the Turnpike exit right here.
Right.
So we are now, that is part of Miami Gardens.
Right.
And so we go west to like 48th Avenue, and then it splits and it goes up to 52nd Avenue.
Okay.
So we're a pretty big city, big city.
Good. Well, you know, so Jazz in the Gardens, you know, last year, Zachary Rinkins worked with Vanita and Nelson in your city. By the way, you've got some great staff people, man. You know, your chief of staff, your legal team. You have some bright folk.
They the best in the world.
They really are. They really are. And so when we put our deal together to create a housing hub at Jazz in the Gardens, it was innovative for us, right? And they gave us the run of the place and allowed for us to have people to come as a vendor to our area and learn more about how you could, you know, purchase a home with some of the different products that the Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust has. And so, you know, for us, it was the most accessible way for us to access middle class and people who have an income that would allow for them to buy affordable homes. And they were in the city of Miami Gardens coming to talk to the Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust about that. You know, it was a great time, but the event itself, man. I mean, we'll get to the lineup in a second, but tell me about, I mean, there's a village out there.
It is. It's like having a big family reunion.
Yeah.
You know, we have people that come from all over the world to be a part of Jazz in the Gardens. We have our families over in the Bahamas. We have our Jamaican families, people from all over the Caribbean, all over the United States, from Chicago to New York to Alabama, South Carolina. In fact, I just had a meeting yesterday with some representatives, council members from South Carolina that are here in town for Jazz in the Gardens. And we sat down and talked about how we can possibly partner with them with some things that they want to do in Charleston. And we're looking forward to, we share the information and we'll share the wealth.
Because mind you, one of the things I heard when I walked in today, and I nodded my head and said, that's got to be right, that in the Southeastern United States, this is one of the largest jazz events in the country.
I think it's the largest. Besides Essence, it's one of the largest in the entire country right now.
So how many people on a weekend come for this thing?
Well, we're talking probably about 50,000 or more over the weekend. And then, you know, those are just the numbers that's at the door that paid for tickets and things like that. So those that we can account for,
sure,
you know, so you're looking at about 60,000, 70,000 people that, but we're able in Miami Gardens because we have the experience of working with big events.
Yeah, so you do. Better than anybody else.
Better than anybody else. And we'll tell anybody that Miami Gardens could get the job done.
So list those events that take place in Miami Gardens.
Oh, wow, it's a lot of them. I may have to sit down and think about that for a minute. We'll talk about Jazz in the Gardens first because that's our signature event.
Sure.
You have Jazz in the Gardens that takes place on March 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
Then you're going to turn around, and a week later, I believe, the Miami Tennis Open will start.
Wow.
And from there, it'll go to May. There will be Formula One will be in May.
See that, you know, and we can stop right there because because you just in May, right?
Yeah, we just in May.
Because I think what blows my mind is that people don't realize that Miami Gardens is a necessary economic engine for South Florida in regards to just events and entertainment. You guys are the go-to city for all this stuff.
And what I tell people, you know, Miami Gardens benefits a lot from those events, but we are partners with this entire region.
Right.
So these events that take place in our city are regional events.
Right.
And they support the entire region of South Florida.
Yeah.
So that being said, we are the heartbeat and the soul of Miami-Dade County. That's how I feel.
No. First of all, I agree with you. As a matter of fact, and as my chairman of the Miami-Dade County Commission, Oliver Gilbert would say, you got that right.
Yeah,
you know, you really do. So Jazz in the Gardens.
Jazz in the Gardens.
I mean, you've got two amazing nights, Saturday and Sunday. What's the lineup look like?
Oh man. Now I got to put on my glasses and read this one.
Yeah.
All right, so we're pleased to announce that we're going to have, first and foremost, on Friday, the 9th or the 10th.
Yeah.
Friday is going to be our Women's Impact Luncheon.
Yeah, which is amazing. We got people in my office lining up for tickets for that. They love that event.
And we're pleased to announce that the Grammy Award-winning Golden Globe-nominated superstar Fantasia, she's going to be joining us as the host of the Women's Impact Luncheon. And she's excited to help us celebrate the amazing women of Miami-Dade that lead our police departments. She'll also be performing on that Saturday night. Saturday we'll have the Pass the Mic series, and that's going to be Little Kim, T.I., Too Short, and then Miami's very own Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke.
Whose brother is running for senator?
His brother is running for senator. Yeah. Stanley Campbell is running for senator.
Sharp as a tack.
Then on Saturday night, we're also going to have Rick Ross, Trina, Ball Greasy, Wayne Wonder, and they'll perform on the Welcome to the Crib stage hosted by DJ Nasty. Then our stellar lineup is going to be Maxwell, Summer Walker, DeVito, Jasmine Sullivan, along with Kirk Franklin, Babyface, Jeezy, Scarface, Marsha Ambrosia, October London, Tamia, Omarion, Eric Bellinger, Tink, and DJ Cassidy.
And that's all on Saturday?
That's Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
That's Saturday and Sunday. That's the major lineup for Saturday and Sunday.
So let me tell you something. You know, I saw Babyface before. I had no idea how many songs he wrote for other people.
For other people.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was shocked to know that he was such an amazing artist.
He's been around a long time.
He's been around a long time. Yeah,
long time.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm a big fan of Fantasia, by the way.
I am, too.
You know, as a matter of fact, I didn't know she was going to be the women's luncheon. I got a couple of women in my office. One of them might not have a ticket now.
Yeah, she'll be at the Women's Impact Luncheon on Friday. Yeah. And we're doing the Women's Impact Luncheon. Last year, for the past few years, we did it over in Aventura.
Okay.
Again, we're partnering with different agencies, different cities and municipalities.
Right. Absolutely.
But this year we're going to the Hard Rock Hotel in.
Oh, nice.
Right off of Griffin Road.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're going to partner there, and we're
well, you know,
Fort Lauderdale is supporting us and everything. So we're going to move it there. Again, it's that regional.
Well, first of all, I think
support.
You should, because you know one of the things. I mean, and you know this better than I do for sure. You all buy a lot of rooms from them for this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some good friends of mine that are from Washington, D.C., and every year they come down, and and I like to go and gamble. So they stay at the Hard Rock. And I mean, so having that event there, and all of them bring their wives. I mean, it's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So I know that event at that location was a smart choice.
Yeah. Also, our opening night party will be there that Friday night too.
Oh, good.
So it's going to be a fun time. It's always a fun time in the city of Miami Gardens during this spring session of Jazz in the Gardens, man. We always look forward to the people coming down and seeing the hospitality that's presented to them from the city of Miami Gardens and its residents. Yeah. And then it gives them an opportunity to explore Miami Gardens a little bit and participate with patronizing our small businesses.
Which, you know what, and by the way, that village that you have out there, right?
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, I mean, some people have built $1 million businesses like the Conch Man. Because of what you've done.
Them guys make a lot of money out there.
Listen, man, I mean, my wife, and that pineapple, that's a staple of
that's Jazz in the Gardens right
exactly.
there. And there's different types of foods. There's going to be hundreds of vendors out there where you can get food, you can get clothing, you can get jewelry, whatever you need at Jazz in the Gardens to make it a wonderful experience.
And as a matter of fact, we meet a lot of our businesses because one of the things that the Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust that we do, we actually give out grants for startup businesses and some businesses that are in the third or fourth year of life, right? So we actually go out there and pass our cards and say, hey, if you're looking to grow your business, work with us. But honestly, many of the vendors that you all have out there, we partner with. Yeah. We probably haven't said thank you properly, but we prospect at that event.
Oh, we know. We know because you guys have been instrumental in helping us with the business incubator at the Oasis.
Yeah, man.
And we put together that business incubator for this specific purpose.
Yep. It works.
Getting our small businesses the opportunity to be able to learn how to do business with the city, know what paperwork is necessary for them to do business with the city, and then be a part of these type of events like that.
And I guess that's big. I'm dying to know how did this thing grow to be so large, man? Because I mean, cities don't only do a good job with private enterprise stuff, with all due respect. They ordinarily just don't do a good job. And you all, year after year after year after year, you've always been able to increase that. Matter of fact, I got to give Commissioner Reggie Leon a lot of credit because he really has been talking about the growth of this whole enterprise.
Yes.
I mean, how have you done it?
I think that's how we have to look at it. You have to look at it as a brand and a business, and you have to look at it as a growth opportunity for others too.
Sure.
You have to make sure that the residents, number one, are the main focus of what we do.
Right.
And in doing that, then it helps you and you're committed to it. And you have to be committed to it. You can't just toot your horn and reap the benefits from it, but then say, well, I'm not for all this, I'm not for all that. But all of those things helps us to maneuver around the economic growth that's taking place in the city of Miami Gardens. We're about to break ground on the 35 acres in our city.
That's what I wanted to ask about. So tell me about that.
Well, we have 35 acres of land that we own, that we sold to a developer, and we sat down with the developer and explained to them what we wanted to see. Now, on this plot of land, you're going to have 2 major hotels that are going to be NFL certified. So
I like that word.
Yes. So now those teams that are coming into Miami to play the Dolphins, they'll be able to stay right there in Miami Gardens in those hotels. It'll be hotels, entertainment venues, restaurants. We're building the world's first Formula One museum right there in that city. So
Formula One's here to stay.
It's here to stay.
Yeah,
it's here to stay.
Yeah,
it's here to stay.
I gotta put together a Christmas savings account just so I can go though. Because I'm telling you that I went to the one many moons ago in Toronto, right? And I'm overwhelmed by it. I really like it.
And it's special. It's a special event. It's an experience. It's not an event. It's an experience.
Right. It is. First of all, and this buddy of mine said to me, it's the highest grossing sport event in the world.
But that's not the only one that's coming.
Okay.
You know, in 2026, we're going to have FIFA World Cup, and that would generate millions and billions of dollars.
So a year and a half from now. Wow.
Yeah, that's going to generate billions of dollars for the region again.
Yeah.
And we will get our little piece of that too. We'll get our big piece of the pie. It won't be a little piece.
There you go.
We'll get our piece of the pie on that.
So how are you doing with this town center that you're developing? This whole
That's
area?
on the 35 acres. It's coming along real well.
Okay.
Everything is put in place, and they should start breaking ground sometime this year.
Oh, wow.
And hopefully in another year or two, we'll have some stuff already built. We're doing it in stages and phases.
35 acres is a lot. That's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
And by the way, congratulations. The word "a lot of work" means a lot.
Yeah.
For a mayor.
And there was a lot of work that was put into it.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of headaches and sit downs and saying, no, we're not doing that, or yes, we will do that.
Right.
You guys have got to do this, and you guys have got to do that.
That's the tough part, isn't it?
It is. It is. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. When you know what's in the best interest of your city.
But 35 acres, so 2 hotels, you said entertainment, restaurants.
Yeah, and then we're also building right behind that. We're going to build a performing arts center.
Oh, wow.
We're building a culinary arts center, and then there's going to be another hotel or adjacent to that. So it's going to be on that whole entire property. It'll really be 3 hotels with some major restaurants, again, some entertainment venues. There's I believe, a entertainment spot that's right now one of these hot little gaming things that's generating like 1 million people a week at this venue.
Good gracious.
So we're bringing one of those here to the city of Miami Gardens too.
So now tell me exactly what this is, Mayor. You're talking about south of 200th, right?
Yes.
27th Avenue.
It's 27th Avenue and like 100, and it will be starting on 188th Street.
Okay.
And going north to where the Walmart is.
Oh, great.
So that area, it was known as the Dirt Bowl or whatever when they used to drive the.
Listen, I'm fond of that. I remember that.
Yeah, when they used
Don't tell anybody.
get out there and play in the dirt over there.
Exactly.
So we're excited about that's coming up, and there's so many other things. You know, we got Calder that's being redone.
Yeah.
Calder is building approximately, I believe, 2 million square feet of warehouse space on their property, and they got some more work that they're doing.
You know, let me say this to you. I mean, and this is the beautiful thing when you build city like this, because those businesses that have already invested in Miami Gardens,
absolutely,
you know, from Lorna's and the rest of them. Now, man, you're talking about foot traffic, like you can't pay for.
And not only foot traffic, but it's going to generate jobs for our community. And what we do when we have people come into our community to develop there, we immediately, the first thing we say is that you're going to hire Miami Gardens residents. They have top first priority before you hire anybody else. You're going to give our residents priority to be hired in anything that we do here in the city.
And first of all, that by the way, congratulations. That's that local appeal. And that's how you build great city over years, right?
Yes, and great relationships. Great relationships, too.
Because now you've got commercial folk that said, you know, I had a good experience working with Mayor Harris and his team. And they start, and these relocation companies,
absolutely,
they begin to understand the value of that. Because so many times, man, people run from cities when they don't see it. When they say, you know what, we've had a bad experience.
Yeah.
Right. The Beacon Council talks about it a lot.
Yeah.
About how you have to create a congenial atmosphere for those that are coming into your city, you know, to want to stay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You got to give them something to do,
right,
so to speak, in the city.
Right.
And when they see cities that's growing and that's putting forth the effort to make arrangements for their residents, not only to succeed, but but for those who come into the city to succeed as well.
Yeah. You know, it's a big deal when you talk about long term. So, you know, you've had your first 4 years.
Going on my first 4 years.
You're going to have your second 4 years.
We looking forward to supporting this.
Because listen, I mean, you know, I think that from my perspective, you know, continuity when you're building at the level that you're building at, because mind you, you know, you're not building a department store.
No, we're not.
You're building a city.
A city.
And by the way, it's an idea whose time has come.
It is.
You've got the Palmetto Expressway, 95 and the Turnpike, all coming there. You can't afford to get this wrong.
Can't. I spoke at the Inter-American Conference of Mayors and local authorities last week. I was the keynote speaker there because they wanted to know what is it that we were doing in the city of Miami Gardens that they can do on an international level in all of the Americas, over in Taiwan, throughout the United States. How could they do the things that we've done in this short period of time?
It has been a short period.
This short period of time. 20 years seems like a long time, but it's only been, we are very, very young. As a city, we're a very young city.
You really are.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so we just told them that the opportunities that arise, we have to make sure that home base is taken care of first.
Yeah.
And then once people take care of our home, which is Miami Gardens, then Miami Gardens will be in a position to take care of everybody else.
You know the thing I love though, and this is what I just think is the most wonderful thing. You are a black city, and that is self-governed.
Self-governed.
That has found a way to take the bond money that you all have created and do really good stuff. For me, it does my heart good because it validates what all of us know. Listen, the world is becoming more brown every day.
Every day.
And knowing that the city of Miami Gardens is a shining example of what self-governance looks like and success, I got to tell you, man, for me, I'm honored to be a partner of you guys because
and we thank you
it validates
so much
what we're doing.
Yeah, and we thank you so much, and we look forward to doing even more work with MDEAT.
Yeah,
and being in a position where we can help each other as well as helping the people throughout Miami-Dade County.
Yeah.
When we asked our residents for a $60 million bond implementation to build out our parks and to assist our police department, it wasn't done just to build parks.
Yeah.
It was done with the vision of our kids having a safe place, our elderly residents and those residents who want to get out and walk and have a great time, to encourage them to do so, and then they can feel safe. Yeah. All the things that we do in the city of Miami Gardens, even with our economic development, all the things that we do them. The old saying used to go, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
Well, this is our village. All of those economic developments that's coming up, everybody has a hand in. If we can address poverty, if we can address education, if we can address safety and security, if we could address all those things while we're building, then the city should not be in have any problems. Our residents shouldn't have all those problems and all those issues that people thought that we had.
There you go. Well, first of all, we all know that the better we are, the closer to home we are. And being able to live, work, and play in the same community makes all the difference in the world.
Makes all the difference.
Knowing that this 30, who in the world puts together 35 acres?
And again, it goes back to smart planning years ago.
Yeah.
When we purchased, under the leadership of Shirley Gibson, under the leadership of Oliver Gilbert, and we were able to purchase those lands that were vacant that people disregarded, and we purchased those lands with the idea that we were going to develop those lands one day, and we were going to put things there that can make us that beautiful city that we are right now. That was a vision, and I hold to that vision right now because I was a part of it in the beginning, and I want to continue to be a part of it until we finish what we started and we finish what we promised the people of this community.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Jazz in the Gardens, March 9th and 10th.
March 9th and 10th.
Everybody's coming.
Everybody.
Right?
Everybody. So if you don't have your tickets, just like I said on the radio, you don't have your ticket, don't call me because I don't have any. But if you need to purchase tickets, you could go to www.jazzinthegardens.com. Purchase tickets. There are still tickets available, but they are going fast.
And listen, by the way, and the last point, I love the ticket scaling that you've got. There are stuff that's affordable where you can come and have a great time, or you want to have the VIP experience, you can do that too. JazzandGardens.com. Mayor Rodney Harris, City of Miami Gardens. Thank you so much.
Mr. Diggs, it's always a pleasure being with you or even seeing you in the community. It's always our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're done?
Yeah.
Good.